Alright, I'm here with a look at my Sega Dreamcast collection, which is my largest collection that I have for a single system, with 154 games complete and 170 games either loose or missing a manual or missing back artwork or anything like that. I'm going for the complete set, so next time you see an update of this collection will probably hopefully be of the complete set. But right now I figured since I'm about halfway there, a little over halfway there I think, I figured I'd go through my collection now. Just to note, a lot of these games I will not be saying a whole lot about because I've either not played them or there's really not much to say. So I'll start out here with 102 Dalmatians Puppies to the Rescue, which I see on the back here says starring Frankie Muniz as the voice of Domino. So you know that's an early 2000s, late 90s game if anyone cared about Frankie Muniz. 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. They're really trying to go for that sex appeal there, man. 4x4 Evo. Like I said, a lot of these games I just don't really have a whole lot to say, but I'll try to add some interesting commentary on games that have something to say about them. Arrow Wings, Air Force Delta, a Konami game. I think this one, I don't know much about that one. Bang Gunship Elite, which I got at Too Many Games. This recent Too Many Games. Kind of an interesting game. Blue Stinger. Bust-A-Move 4, which is just another Bust-A-Move game. It's cool to see it on Dreamcast, though. Caesar's Palace 2000. There's really not much to say about some of these games. When you go for the complete set, you're also buying these not too interesting games. Carrier, and then it looks like it says triple X or double X, but the spine just says Carrier. But this is like a horror game. I got this at a half-price books. This game's not too easy to find. It's kind of, it's basically a horror game of that would come out then. Kind of maybe think Dino Crisis or Resident Evil 2 or 3, and it's basically that. It's kind of just a rip-off of that. Centipede, which, I don't know, they had a big kind of boom of trying to resurrect these old arcade franchises. There was that Frogger game and all that, who knows. Chicken Run, based off the movie. Choo Choo Rocket, one of the cool Dreamcast games you'd see back then. This is what the Dreamcast was known for more than, getting games like Chicken Run. Was just these kind of odd Sega games. That's why I really like the Dreamcast, is because it was a lot of weird experimental stuff coming out of Sega. Kind of bizarre stuff. Coaster Works, which I don't know. I was a big fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon back in the day, and I'm sure if you sat me down in front of it right now, I'd probably be addicted to it again. But something about playing it on a console, or it's playing something similar at least. That's not Roller Coaster Tycoon, but that's just building roller coasters and whatever. But something about playing that on a console really doesn't work. That's something better with a keyboard and mouse. Championship Surfer. Conflict War, Modern War Strategy. Crazy Taxi, which I just got this copy at Too Many Games, and Crazy Taxi 2. Crazy Taxi, that's all. These games are a lot of fun. Definitely must-haves for a Dreamcast collection. They're a lot of fun. If you're gonna just get one, I'd say get Crazy Taxi 2. You can get it for probably $10 to $12, and a lot of fun. A lot of it's kind of the stuff that you'd see out of Sega back in the day. Daytona USA. Always going to get the Daytona games if you have a Sega system, it seems. Dead or Alive 2, which is a pretty solid fighter. Although I think there's a different reason that people usually play Dead or Alive. Death Crimson OX is another game I got at a Books A Million. This might be... Oh, I'm thinking this is the game I got at the Books A Million. That's pretty uncommon. You don't see it very often. Not Books A Million. Half-price books. Books A Million's the other. I don't know where my mind is. Yeah, this is the one I got, not Carrier. But I played Carrier. That was kind of a Resident Evil ripoff. But yeah, this is just like it's not great by any means. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to come by. I got it for pretty cheap. I think $20, less than $20. I can't remember. I had half-price books. Deep Fighter. Half these games I don't even remember buying Deep Fighter. Demolition Racer No Exit. I buy most of my Dreamcast games from my local game chain, called The Exchange, and I just take stuff in there, trade like crap that I don't want in, which is basically garage sale doubles or just stuff I don't want that I bought from lots that I just didn't want, and I'll get a good amount of trade value, and then I'll just kind of have it on a gift card, and every time I see some Dreamcast stuff, because I mean most of these games are $5, $3, $2.50, not very much, $8. So I'll just pick them up, and I basically get them for free because I didn't really have much into that garage sale stuff. Dino Crisis, which is a pretty cool game. It's basically Resident Evil, but with dinosaurs, which is, neat. I'd say this is probably the best way to play it over the PS1 version. We got Disney Pixar's, I have it under Disney Pixar, I think, but Buzz Lightyear of Star Command and Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue Toy Story 2. The Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue Toy Story 2 is actually a pretty decent 2D platformer. Or not 2D, 3D platformer kind of game. It's actually pretty decent. Draconis, Cult of the Worm. I don't know. I don't know anything about this. It doesn't look too hot. I don't know. This is Chronicles of Pern Dragon Riders. Based on the best-selling novels, Dragon Riders of Pern. That doesn't look too hot either. Ecco the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. Ecco on the Dreamcast. I'm sure it was impressive back in the day. It's nothing too much now. The Ecco games are not as fun as you'd think a game about a cute dolphin would be. ESPN Track and Field. Nothing to say about that one. ESPN NBA Tonight. Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. Now, I've ordered a lot of Dreamcast games from GameStop's retro program that they do, and it's pretty bad for the most part. I've ordered a ton of games from them. Dreamcast, I'd order, I think, about 12 games where I just kind of went crazy. I had some credit there. I went crazy. They were having a sale at the time, so everything was half off, and then I had my power-up, not half off, everything was on sale, I should say. I had my power-up card, which was 10% off, and then I had another coupon code, the CIG16 code that gets you a certain amount off. 16% off, something like that. I can't remember. So everything was coming out really cheap, so I just added a ton of stuff to my cart, and I was like, I'll just get all this stuff. I paid like $120 for a bunch of games, and this was the only game that came complete, which it was probably also the best game, but and I just took all the other games back. I don't want a bunch of loose discs if I can't help it, especially for what I paid. So I just took them all back and got a refund. But I kept that one. They were real cool when I took them back. They understood. Evolution 2, then. I got this at the Cleveland Classic Arcade Gaming and Regular Gaming Show, which they do every year. I got that for a pretty good price. I want to give these a shot at some point because they look pretty decent. F-35 Challenge. But I guess the moral of the story as I was going on is don't buy stuff from GameStop's retro program. Fighting Force 2. Sega Sports Flag to Flag. Really interesting. Floygan Brothers Episode 1. They never got past Episode 1. I don't know. I don't think so. Someone will be like, well, there was a game in Japan on PS2. It was Floygan Brothers Episode 2. No one knows what the Floygan Brothers are up to nowadays. Who knows? They might be dead. I don't know. Frogger 2, Swampy's Revenge. I don't. Like I said, they're trying to make like Frogger relevant, and it's like the arcade Frogger's a fun game, but I don't know if Frogger's fit for the big time anymore. Fur Fighters. This game's like dumb fun. It's actually pretty fun. It's kind of dumb. You're just a bunch of animals fighting, basically. It says it right in the title, really. It'd be worth a look. I don't think it's too expensive. Grandia 2, which I got from my game store for I think $30, but since it was trade credit, I had like nothing into it. This is pretty high up on my backlog of RPGs to play, but I have not played it yet. The Grinch, for some reason made by Konami. It's a Grinch like 3D platformer. It's about as good as it sounds. Heavy Metal Geomatrix. This game is actually pretty cool. It's bizarre. It's like super weird. It's an old Capcom game. This was another time Sega was putting out a lot of interesting weird stuff, but so was Capcom. Capcom was putting a bunch of real bizarre stuff out there. I got this game's kind of pricey, and I only got it for I think $10 or something. The exchange slipped up on their pricing for that. So I got that for a real good price. But yeah, an interesting game. Probably has like the coolest name of all time. I mean, Heavy Metal Geomatrix. What's that even mean? It's a great name though. Hidden and Dangerous. If the game's as good as that cover art, don't think I want to play it. House of the Dead 2. I mean, it's House of the Dead 2. Everyone knows House of the Dead 2 at this point. My favorite game of all time, Hoyle Casino. Hydro Thunder. I'm getting a little scared these are going to topple over, so I'm going to... Incoming. Whew. Iron Aces. Acclaim Sports, Jeremy McGrath, Supercross 2000. Jet Grind Radio, a real great one. I got this for real cheap back in the day too at this game store in the mall that had no idea what they have no idea what they're doing. I don't know. I got this in Resident Evil Code Veronica for them for I think like $10 or something like that. I don't know. Those were like the first two Dreamcast games I got too. That and so it was a good start to the system. But yeah, Jet Grind Radio is a blast. Good stuff. They made one on. They made a sequel on the Jet Set Radio Future on the Xbox, which is pretty decent as well. King of Fighters Dream Match 1999. I'm not a big fighting guy, but King of Fighters is pretty solid. I mean, they're well-made fighting games. Legend of Cain Soul Reaver. Not much to say. Looney Tunes Space Race. This one's kind of hard to come by too. My local game store, the Exchange, I keep referencing. I don't know. Messed up and priced this at $2.50, which I was happy to pick it up for. Another game they priced for $2.50 was Walt Disney World Magical Racing Tour, which is a kind of bad kart racer. Mach-In X, which is this really weird game where you basically play as the Sword. It's by Atlas, and it has that really cool art style of like the old Personas, as you can see here, like the Persona 1 and 2 Persona games. Mainly 2. But this is a neat game. Marvel vs. Capcom, which I got at Goodwill for $1, which was a great find. I'm looking for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Haven't found that one yet, but Marvel vs. Capcom, great series, one of my favorite fighting series, mostly because I'm a big Capcom fan, and I mean, who doesn't like Marvel too, so it's a cool crossover. It's just too bad that Infinite doesn't look too great. Max Steel, which, was this a toy line or a cartoon or something? I don't remember. But, I don't know, never played it. MDK2. I don't know. I've never played that one either. I don't know, some of these, I mean, I'm not going to sit down and be like, yep, I've definitely played Incoming. It's a great game. I don't know. Metropolis Street Racer. Continuing on here, we have Namco Museum, which is a pretty good set. I mean, a little basic, but I mean, it has all the Namco classics on it. The real big name Namco classics. Midway Arcade's Greatest Hits, which should have been... Oh, this is a little out of order. Sorry about that. These are backwards, actually. So first, there's a little out of order there. These are supposed to be in alphabetical order, but it's hard to alphabetize a lot of them. Monaco Grand Prix. and MTV Sports Skateboarding, and then Namco Museum. A little bit of a confusion there. In interest in everyone, in the interest of saving time, everyone's time here, I'm just going to do this because we are in the ends. So we got a bunch of sports games. I'm not going to read every single sports game because that would waste way too much time. I don't think anyone cares, so just saved everyone's time there. The sports games I pay, $250 to get and add them to the collection. I think I have a good chunk of them, if not all of the sports games on there. Nightmare Creatures 2, which these games have not aged well. They're bringing Nightmare Creatures back, I think. I saw them bringing it back somehow. I don't. Pen Tricelon. This game's kind of neat. The cover art definitely betrays it because it's pretty bad, but I don't know. It's kind of neat, kind of colorful. It's nothing spectacular, but it's interesting at least. We got the Phantasy Star Online and version 2 online, which I got at Too Many Games this past summer. And someone tell me if these are worth playing, even if there's because there's no online, and I don't really want to mod my worry about doing all that. So someone tell me if these are even worth playing offline. If there's anything even interesting to do offline. Pod Speed Zone. Power Stone, which I found the case for this way back in the day. If you watch my first video on here, my first pickup video, I went to a store closing and I got the case for this for like 40 cents, 30 cents or something. And I bought the disc off eBay recently, not too long ago, a couple months ago, for I think it was $25. So I got a pretty good deal on that altogether. Razor Freestyle Scooter. I mean, it's a Razor scooter game. Ready to Rumble Boxing. Ready to Rumble Boxing round 2. That guy's really getting messed up right there. Man. Record of Lodos War, which I've not tried out. It looks kind of interesting, but it looks like definitely satisfied Dreamcast owning Diablo fans, huh? So I guess it's kind of like a loot game like that. Real Fishing Wild by Natsume. I have the Dreamcast fishing rod. Does that work with it? Yeah, it does. I have to try that out. I tried out Sega Marine Fishing with the fishing rod, but I have not tried out that one. I'll have to see if that one is interesting. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which is just a port of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. A good game. Resident Evil Code Veronica, this was a pretty good one too. There's also Resident Evil 2 on the Dreamcast as well, which I need to pick up at some point. Revolt. How am I doing this here? Okay. The Ring, Terror's Realm, which is kind of like a horror game, kind of goofy. I picked this up too because I'd never seen it before. And I don't really see it very often. It must be pretty hard to come by. Rippin' Riders. Samba de Amigo, which is cool. I also have the maracas in the box complete and everything for this too, which is a neat little thing to have. Real neat peripheral. I don't have it on display right now. It's currently in storage because I don't have a place for it. I used to have it on display. But yeah, that's real cool. San Francisco Rush 2049. And another one that the price got messed up at the exchange. I got this for $5. Seaman. I'm looking for the outer box and the microphone and everything. I forgot to throw Red Dog in with the S's. I got this for $1 at the Goodwill alongside Marvel vs. Capcom that day, but it was missing the manual, so I just recently picked up a manual for it on eBay. Dreamcast manuals don't really pop up very often, but that one popped up. I think for $6 free shipping, so I just jumped on that. That's a like $25 game for some reason. I don't know why. Seaman, Sega Bass Fishing, Sega Bass Fishing 2, which is kind of hard to come by. Not too common one. Sega GT, Sega Marine Fishing, which I tried out the fishing controller with this, and kind of a fun experience, I guess. Sega Rally Championship. Sega Smash Pack Volume 1, which has all these games on it. Good selection of games aside from Altered Beast, because that game's bad. Shadow Man, which ooh, a lot of people like that game. I'm not quite sure why, though. Has not aged well. Shenmue, which I want to play through this. I got this at Too Many Games last summer. I want to play through this, but now I'm waiting to see if they do a Shenmue HD, because it looks like it almost obviously is coming, but I don't know. It's been leaked like 4 times now, because I don't know. I'd rather play it on like PS4 or Switch or something, but I'll play it on Dreamcast if it doesn't, because I want to play through this. I'm a big Yakuza fan, and I don't know, Shenmue's always looked interesting to me. Maximum Pool, which you can play online if you want to. Sorry about that. Silent Scope by Konami. Back when the Konami name used to mean something, I guess. Skies of Arcadia. I got this at my local game store. I paid good for it, but not too much. It was in the $50 range because I had trade credit, but I also had promotion. It was 20% off anything you buy. So I just got a bunch of like higher stuff and used trade credit and got it. Higher dollar stuff and used trade credit and got it. This is a good game. I played a good portion of it. I'd probably want to play through it on GameCube though. That's a better port of it, so I'd probably like to play through it there, but Skies of Arcadia is a cool game. Snow Cross, Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2. These games have not aged well at all. They've kind of aged pretty poorly, but you know, they're good fun, I guess. But I don't know. I'll take Genesis Sonic and Sonic Mania any day. Sonic Shuffle, which is like this really bad Mario Party clone, and it has the worst load times between turns, and all the mini games are really bad. Just play Mario Party. Don't bother with Sonic Shuffle. Soul Calibur, classic. South Park Chef's Love Shack. South Park Rally, a couple South Park games on the Dreamcast. Space Channel 5, one of my favorite Dreamcast games. You got the lenticular cover here too. Space Channel 5 is one of my favorite Dreamcast games. Great kind of rhythm game. Really unique, really fun. Music's fun. It's really goofy. Space Channel 5 is great. If you've never played it and you have a Dreamcast, pick it up. It's really cheap. It's like $10. Space Channel 5 is a great game though, and you can beat it. It's one of those games that, like Star Fox 64 or something, where you can beat in like 45 minutes to an hour, and then you can go again and try to do stuff. Really great. One of my probably top 5 Dreamcast games. Speed Devils and Speed Devils Online. Moving on here, we got Spec Ops 2 Omega Squad. Spirit of Speed 1937, which I believe is the last game LJN published before going under, and this game's horrible. So their legacy went on. That's a really bad game. My favorite part of the game is how it has this constant ringing. There's always like this constant buzzing noise. It's horrible. Star Lancer, which pretty neat game. Striker Pro 2000. This is a cool game here. Super Magnetic Neo. Kind of this weird platformer. And you have like these magnetic powers and stuff. It's kind of a neat game. Suzuki All-Star Extreme Racing. Sword of the Berserk Guts Rage. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is based off the Berserk anime series. Sydney 2000 Olympics. Tee-Off. Test Drive 6. Test Drive Le Mans. Test Drive V-Rally. Got a lot of Test Drive games there. Time Stalkers. This game's pretty cool. I got this for like $8 at a convention. Kind of an interesting game. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Who did that? Who did this game? I'm trying to remember. Someone. Was this just Sega themselves, I think? Yeah, looks like it was just Sega themselves. Yeah. It's a cool game, though. I don't know, I think I got that for like $5 because the guy had 8 on that and then 30 on Evolution 2, and then I just asked if he'd do 35 for both. And so I got that for pretty cheap. TNN Hardcore Heat. Rainbow Six. Which is actually, this is a pretty faithful version of the PC version. You look at the 64 and PS1 versions of Rainbow Six, and they're pretty dumbed down by comparison, but this is actually a pretty comparable version. Tomb Raider Chronicles. Just a port of Tomb Raider Chronicles. I think also Tomb Raider The Last Revelation. Toy Commander. Trick Style. Ultimate Fighting Championship. Vanishing Point. Vigilante 8 Second Offense. Virtua Athlete 2000. Virtua Striker 2. Virtua Tennis. Virtua Tennis is pretty fun. Pretty fun tennis game, actually. Alright, we're moving in. This is the final set here. We got, gotta reach over here and get these, I'm sorry. A sealed web browser. My favorite game on here. But Web Browser 2 is almost quite as good as the first one. Almost as good as the first one. Wettrix, which is missing the manual. Look, I'm on the lookout for that manual, so let me know if you have it. We'll work out a trade. Wwf Attitude. Here's one that I don't see very often. I found this, I picked it up. This is one you don't see very often at all. Who Wants to Beat Up a Millionaire? Wild Metal by Rockstar. WWF Royal Rumble. That should probably be by the other WWF game now, shouldn't it? I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm going to put that by the other WWF game. World Series Baseball 2K1. World Series Baseball 2K2. Worms World Party, which is a Worms game. I think everyone knows how the Worms games play at this point. It's basically that. And Extreme Sports. So there you have it. A look at my Dreamcast collection. Might not be the most interesting video to watch because there's just a lot of games that I have there that I don't have any real opinion on. I don't have anything to say about Extreme Sports or, Royal Rumble. I'm sorry to say. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm on the lookout for some Dreamcast games. Mainly like manuals and back artworks and stuff. So if you have anything like that, leave a comment. Maybe we can work something out. I have Power Stone 2. I need the artwork and back manual for. I got it at a pawn shop for 99 cents, but it was just the disc. So if you have that, let me know, and we'll work out a fair trade. But yeah, I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a comment with some of your favorite Dreamcast videos. If any of these games that I have not played are real gems or something, let me know and I'll give them a shot. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Sorry if it wasn't, maybe the most interesting, but I hope you maybe learned something. Learned some Dreamcast games or something. And I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure to follow me both on Twitter and Instagram, both at Objo Gaming. And I will see you next time.